Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and the latest batch of wrestling game news, where today we have more on WWE 2K22. Following Saturday's SummerSlam trailer, we have a look ahead to Mocap, which releases today on Steam Early Access, and we have all the latest news and announcements for the Wrestling Code, including new behind the scenes footage. Before we get to any of that though, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest wrestling game news, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's start things off with Virtual Basement's The Wrestling Code, as the team recently flew out to Vegas to meet up with Rob Van Dam, as the latest Mocap session is taking place at the Versus Pro studio, where Rob himself is actually performing his own Mocap. Ahead of the first session, Tony Cini, who's also performing Mocap alongside RVD, he shared this photo of the pair getting ready for action, before Virtual Basement then shared this new behind the scenes footage which shows RVD in action. As shown in the footage, the clip features RVD carrying a weapon prop which is likely to be replaced with a steel chair in the game itself, as we see Rob scale the ropes with the prop in hand as he then performs a Van Terminator to Tony Cini. The cool thing about this is that this is somewhat of a first for a wrestling game, as whilst we have seen weapon grapples in the past and the coast to coast, we've never seen the Van Terminator featured as a weapon grapple, so this makes for a really cool addition. Speaking of additions, we also have a few new stars who've recently been announced for the game, with the first of those stars being independent wrestler Ashton Starr, who you may have seen making appearances for AEW, as well as a whole host of local promotions. The second star to be announced is Japanese luchadora Makoto, who's best known for her time in Japanese promotions like Wrestling New Classic and Reina. The third announcement is actually a stable, as we had the announcement of former ECW and WWE stable, the Full-Blooded Italians. Judging by the teaser image, the stable looks set to feature 5 members from the group, however it's unknown which 5 these will be, as in total the FBI included 16 different stars throughout its time in ECW and in WWE. I'll list all of the recognised members of the FBI on screen now so that you can see who was a part of the faction, but let me know in the comments which 5 you think will make the game. Up next we're talking Mocap, as the Mocap digital card game is due to release today on PC via Steam Early Access. For those unfamiliar with the game, it's a wrestling card game that is being developed by former WWE Games creator The Von, who's someone that is well known within the community for his creations dating all the way back to the 360 era. On a personal note, I just want to say a massive congratulations to Shannon on the launch of the game. Not only is it really cool to see a wrestling game created by a member of the wrestling game community, but it's great inspiration for everyone playing these games and creating content of just what it is that you can actually go on to achieve. So I'll leave a link to the game in the video description so that you can check it out, but here's a trailer for the game to give you a better idea of what to expect. Before we move on, let me take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, The Ridge. Unlike traditional wallets, which are large and bulky, the Ridge wallet has a modern, sleek design that doesn't stick out in your pocket. Depending on your preference, there's a ton of colours and materials that you can choose from, including titanium, aluminium, and my personal favourite, the carbon fibre Ridge, which is the one that I use. In a world where everything is digital and cash is an afterthought, the Ridge provides storage for up to 12 cards, whilst also offering RFID blocking technology to keep your cards safe from digital pickpockets. For those carrying cash, the Ridge also comes with the option of a cash strap or a cash clip, allowing you to safely store banknotes. If you want to pick one up either for yourself or as a present for a friend, then you can head over to ridge.com/Smacktalks, where you can save yourself 10% and get free worldwide shipping and returns if you use the voucher code Smacktalks. Finally for today, let's talk WWE 2K22, as I wanted to follow up the video that I posted over the weekend, which broke down the SummerSlam trailer. As since that video was released, there's been a few little bits of extra info that I wanted to cover, plus we also have a few extra bits from the trailer itself. So first up, let's take a look at the trailer, as the first thing that I want to address is Kane, as a lot of people picked up on the fact that Kane can be seen sporting a combination of attires, as the top half of him sees him wearing his current attire, whilst the bottom half sees him sporting his old tights from around 2008. Now, I've had a lot of people asking about this, and asking if it's a separate attire, or if it could be related to Showcase Mode or My Career. However, as far as I know, Kane never wore this combination, so it's a little bit odd. Therefore, I would likely say that this is most likely an error and that the wrong tights were assigned, although considering the amount of checks that these trailers go through, I'm surprised that it was never picked up. It is worth pointing out though that this is still only a very early build of the game, as we're still 7 months away from release, therefore this will likely be something that gets updated, as should the knee pads that we've seen on Edge, as they too are also missing part of the logo. Aside from this, there were a few other little things that were pointed out, like Roman Reigns wearing a shirt in his entrance, as usually Roman would go shirtless. However, there is the possibility that this is part of a promo entrance or something to that regard, as we still don't have a lot of info to go on. Whilst these are all small issues, the biggest thing I've seen people complain about was the hair physics, which was a big talking point in 2K20, as a lot of the hair was stuck in place, and watching this trailer back, that was something that also seems to happen here, as during the shot of Lashley lifting Kofi, Kofi's hair can be seen defying gravity as it stays in place while he's upside down, which is very similar to the showcase footage of Charlotte from 2K20. Again though, what I would say in regards to this is not to focus too much on it at the moment, as this is still an early build. Let's see how things look in the next trailer, as the next footage that we get will be a lot closer to the game's release. Now, speaking of the release, which we now know is set for March 2022 to coincide with WrestleMania, this once again brings into question whether or not a lot of the stars who were recently released from the company will still appear, as it was widely speculated that a lot of the stars who were released would still appear in the game, as it was too late to remove them. However, now that we know the game is still 7 months away, this gives the developer plenty of time to make changes to the roster, therefore there's a chance that a lot of those stars may now be removed. Whilst that doesn't sound too great given the amount of stars that could be taken out, the positive way of looking at this is that it also gives the developers plenty of time to add new content, therefore there's a very good chance that we'll see new versions of both the Raw and the SmackDown arena added, and hopefully a few new attire updates as well, as there's a lot of attires in the trailer that date back to July 2020, which by the time the game comes out will be nearly 2 years old. So there's good and bad things to the release date. Yes, some things will be outdated, but at the same time it does give more time for other things to get updated, and most importantly make sure that the game works as it should, as 2K will want to do everything they can to avoid a repeat of 2K20. So that's your latest roundup of wrestling game news. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.